Hey everyone, a little lock on to be out. Hey, I'm here to speak about green flags. I hope that your day is going well. I know that lately I have been just thinking about a lot of new things, new year, right? And with this new year, I have learned a lot about myself and people. And with that, it comes red flags and green flags. So that's the reason why I'm here to speak on it. Why am I talking about green flags? Well, in 2021, that's all we spoke on. We all we spoke on was red flags, what to look out for. And it's this not this isn't to say hey that green flags don't matter or red flags don't matter, but hey, how you doing? But yeah, so this isn't to say that red flags don't matter, but we spoke on or you've heard a lot about red flags in 2021. Now, I'm not saying not to be so focused on them. All I'm saying is that when it comes to certain things, we have to be mindful of, the green flags. And I'm here to speak on a couple of them. This will not be a long screen. So here we go. One of the green flags is communication. Why am I speaking on communication? One of the biggest things that we've lost is the art of communication. Since social media, since a lot of different things, and since having cell phones, I'm going to say that since the phones were not just one line or just one line for multiple phones. If you know, I'm showing my age. So you had how you had the colorful phones or something like that. It seemed like ever since we've gotten cell phones and social media, and it just seemed like since social media, just being able to be on, I'm not MySpace. I'm say after MySpace, and now Facebook and these different social media sites. It appears as if the communication and healthy relationships has totally deterred. Like it's don't exist anymore. It's like people rather speak to someone on social media and be fake friends on social media or communicate on social media than actually talk on the phone. People now they rather text instead of call. And so when it comes to communication, it sucks. And I think that's a big part of it. Being a being born and raised in early 90s. I was born 1989. So I was raised in the 90s. In the 90s, things were so much simple. So, for example, if I have my daughters to go outside and play, they going to kick a ball around or something like that. But they rather talk about roadblocks, and I don't understand that. I'm like, why you want to talk about a game that's not real, a virtual world where you create your own world? I get that, that's fun, that's cool, but don't you want to go outside and just be in the real world? And so I have to actually be in the headspace of teaching my daughters that as well. That's the reason why I don't let them play a lot of games and things like that, because we get to that place where we just get so fake with everything. Everything is virtual. So I want everything to be tangible. You should be able to touch it. But I really do believe that relationships, I really do believe it's lost art in communication. And it is due to the different technologies we have today. Now, I get we have them, but I really hate that they've taken over to a place where we've lost the art of sending a basic email. I remember back in the day, and I'm only 32. I'll be 33 in a couple more months. Whoop. But back in the day, a guy would actually write a letter, a physical letter, and on a sheet of paper and give it to you. That was our text messages back then. So before we actually got our own phones, cell phones, and I don't know if you remember the two ways. I never had one. My first device was a cell phone, but two-way where you can get the number, the code, and you do that. So it's just things have changed. Communication went from, for me, love letters on a physical sheet of paper to a text message. And that's supposed to be the source of my inspiration. That's great, but it still doesn't take away from the physical things that's no that's concerning actual real communication. So one thing for me, I love to talk on the phone with somebody. And maybe there's somebody, maybe somebody else may not agree with that. One of the most romantic things a man can ever do is call me. I mean, so serious. Right, right. And so it's to call me. And I get it all the time. Like I text you. Well, that's great. But right. But the thing is, that's a basic phone call communication. One thing I've been finding out just from those age old, just people that's still together, like the one of the old school ways of staying together is talking to your partner. If you don't talk to your partner, then how do you know what they like? How do you know what they really like? Not just from social media. And I don't know why I'm on it, but social media, or just the way technology has advanced, it has really blocked the way we really communicate with one another. It's so easy to send a DM. It's so easy to go to my Instagram page and like a photo, and that should be enough. No, a photo. An actual phone call actually will suffice. Actually coming to see somebody, actually going to their favorite restaurant and bring them to their door, or maybe ordering a DoorDash or something like that. Anything of the sort would do. It's just that show your physical presence some kind of way. Let them know. Send flowers, something. It's just that now it seems as if dating is this big game. And it's where people would just want to be with the person. Well, we talk for this bit, or we video chat. That does not take away from everything. Just because you like my photo on social media and want to video chat me, that doesn't take away my need to be want to be right next to you. And I get we're in a pandemic. I get it's COVID is around. I get we need to be more careful. We need to. That's why we have our masks. We have things like that. But we really need to. I'm speaking to the men especially, and I get ladies don't require it now. All you have to do is like a photo and then they DM you. That's it. But the thing is, healthy communication is so important in any healthy just relationship. And it's not just romantic, it's business. Like for example, for that job. If you didn't show up for your job every day, or you didn't show up for your business every day, if you're an entrepreneur, or if you didn't show up physically, and you didn't physically talk to your boss on the phone, or you didn't physically talk to the person at the bank on the phone, like what type of relationship would you have? It would be pretty screwed up. Your money probably be messed up too. You probably not get your checks on time. So it's just one of those things. If we actually took the time to call people, took the time to actually physically go see them, let them know, or go out our way, let them know, hey, I'm thinking about you today. And even if you did want to send a text message, let it be something like let it be something meaningful, excuse me. Let it be something meaningful. Let it be something like, instead of what you're doing, say, hey, I want to feed you today. Have you eaten today? How are you doing? How are your classes? How are your children? How's your family? Take a real interest in what other people take interest in. If you know that someone just started college, so have you registered? Just really be a support for that person. Show that person, hey, give me a second, real quick. I had to go take something. Okay, so I'm saying be a real support for that person, because if you're real support for that person, whatever they do in their lives, you will actually have better relationships. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I found this to be true in every one of my relationships. That's with my father, that's with my spiritual sisters, that's with my children, that's with myself. And just in all in my business relationships, my personal relationship, even in my romantic relationships, I found this to actually be effective. And working on my communication skills, learning how to use the proper tone. It's not just a phone call, it's not just the social media, but it really is, hey, how are you doing? Hey, I'm thinking about you. Or better yet, if someone has a business, I'm like, so have you done your business plan? Let me see it. Do you know or like who you're going to invest with? So I actually just change my conversation, and I make my conversation less about me and less about the things I'm doing, less things about things that I'm interested in, but I actually show interest in the person and whatever else that they're talking about doing in their lives. So communicate. Actually show interest in the other person's interest other than yours, because you can be very we can become very selfish and egotistical in our relationships. So that's the first one. Yeah, right. And then that comes with discernment. If the more discernment you have, and the more aware of yourself that you are, the more aware that you become, you actually do see that, hey, you can tell the difference between somebody wanting to get something from you versus somebody wanting to build with you. And like one of the ways you can tell that somebody actually wants to build with you and not just want something from you is the time that they communicate. Yes. Now, if someone is constantly calling you after just an inappropriate time, such as for me, an inappropriate time is, I would say, 11 o'clock. And the reason why, right? Yeah, right. And after a certain period of time, if you're calling me after booty call hour, for me that's 11, because at that point in time, I'm about to ready to go back to. I'm about my class is about to start again. My children are sleeping. That's my downtime, so I get it. But I give it 10 o'clock, But 11, after 11, I'm like, why are you calling me this late? What do you want? So I unless it's a real emergency, I don't see any reason for anyone calling me after that period of time. But if somebody really want to build with me, they're going to communicate throughout the day. It's going to be in the morning time. It's going to be in the afternoon. It's going to be at break time. That's what I've seen. Like people that really want to build with me, like just like for example, my team that I have right now, we speak to each other throughout the day. It's not just at night. So, and I've realized if a guy really wants to build with me, it's usually throughout the day, not just so you're not trying to make me a booty call, you know, or you trying to call me after hours. And I give you work late. Well, if you work late, you will find time to call me or text me earlier that day to where it's more where it's more appropriate, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it's very important to know whether somebody wants something from you. That's why you have to be aware of yourself. But that's definitely a good point. But definitely, yeah, it's the knowing part. And once we communicate, and that's actually goes into the second point. It's about having an awareness. Now you can have an awareness of yourself to a place where you know yourself like a book. You know what works for you, what don't just dating around. And that's one thing I found in my journey. As I've dated in the past, I've actually got a chance to know people in different elements. I've met their family, I've met their friends, I went to their favorite spots. I find that we will pass their school, or just things like that, or just say I will hang out with them in another environment. It can be just going to the movies. It can be just hanging around family. Learn, like you actually need to learn people in different environments, because when you do, it allows you to be in a headspace to see them how they really are. So you can know, hey, this is how this person is. And when they're around their family, this is how they are. This is just, you don't have to be on a job with them, but just see how they are if it's a coworker around or someone they went to school with or an ex, or if you're divorced like me, how are they around their ex-husband or ex-wife? How do they co-parent? You have to look at these different characteristics, like, so to see, are they really just like this just for me, or how do they treat other people? And for the women, I would say this, and I did a segment on it, and it's called blind spots. As a woman, or to all the women out there, and men too, but I notice women have that issue more than men. And this issue is not allowing healthy men the men that's going to be in our lives. And it's very important to have healthy men in our lives, so that if you are looking for a compatible partner to build with, then you need to bring that male around those other males that's already in your life. I've noticed a different shift, that when I've decided to date, I'm like, okay, I want you to meet so and so, or I'll talk to so and so. I'm like, hey, I just met this dude. I really want you to tell me about him, because you're a guy. So could you just hang out with them? Like, so are we going to hang out with them? Something like that. And I bring them around one another. And I found that I found out more about the guy through having healthy male blind spots. So I think, as a woman, that's a good green flag to also, and something to probably bring into this year, instead of just y'all hanging out with one another, or y'all just doing whatever you do, go, Netflix, and just hanging out at each other's houses. Really get to know them. Let them meet the people that's in your life. I get that people like, well, I need to know we serious. Well, in a dating stages, that's just where you're gathering information. Now, in your process of gathering information, you have to actually get to know them. But what if your discernment is off? What if your awareness is not where it needs to be? So how can you really vet a potential partner? Well, it's through men that's actually healthy, or women that's actually healthy, or vice versa. Wherever your position is in your life, whatever preferences you have. Now, one of the things I found to be true as well is, by having healthy males in my life that actually care about me, that's not trying to sleep with me, that actually cares about my well-being, that actually cares about my children, that actually cares about how we're doing. I actually have an ex-boyfriend from high school, and he has become one of my best friends in the whole wide world, literally. And I appreciate it because so much. And even on Christmas, he was like, "Hey, how y'all doing? I have some gifts for the girls." I'm like, "You don't have to do that." And this guy has a family and everything. I've met his family. I've met his wife, met his children. Our children met one another. His wife met me. So we're cool. And so I can call her, see how she's doing. I can call him, see how he's doing. I can call, hey, the children thinking about your children. Hey, can we just, when that time comes, can we just go to a water park or something? So you need to have those healthy relationships. And so he actually dropped off a gift or two for Christmas. And so I'm like, wow. So he actually cares about my children. He cares about my growth. He cares about my schooling. He cares about my mental. So I can call him. And of course, I'll call him a decent time, but I can call him or her. And so it's beautiful to have those type of relationships. So just having someone that can be a blind spot, ladies, and men too, because fellas, Sometimes your guy friends are not the best person to vet a woman, because if you are hanging around the wrong type of people, or just say if you are, or just say if the type of guys that you're hanging around, for the guys, if the type of guys you are hanging around are not really healthy, then they really will not be able to vet a potential partner to build with. They're going to only vet for someone you can potentially sleep with. Give me a moment. Excuse my nose, y'all. The weather's been so crazy out here. That's why I had to go. But yeah, you have to, for the fellas, and I've seen this with just being able to have how I don't call them. I'm trying to say having life coach sessions with more men than women, and having men my entire life, just my entire life, like brothers, friends, things like that. Just having men come to me in confidence, and just telling me about whatever is going on. I'm finding out that men want healthier relationships just as much as women do. But the thing is, they vet them through their unhealthy friends at times. And these guys, they're only able to vet a woman that's potential for to sleep with, a woman that's potential to just be with for their moment, not a wife, not a soulmate. So most definitely, I would say, guys, if you do, if you, for the guys out there, if you do, or if you are interested in having a partner to build with, make sure you have healthy males in your lives that actually that are having long lasting healthy relationships, that's not cheating on their wives, that's not doing things that so you need to have healthy males in your lives, and you need to have healthy females in your lives that's not that's not unhealthy. So that's why it's very important to have healthy people in your life, in your life, because when you have healthy people in your life, they're actually able to vet and be an extra set of eyes for you, just like glasses. They can help you have more clarity. So most definitely, having those blind spots in your life, can help you have healthier relationships, and you can build healthy relationships. And I'm gonna tell you another green flag in relationships is healthy boundaries. Yes, I know people like, oh, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. And I have seen people just, I have known people to confuse walls with boundaries. It is a complete difference. I, in my attempt to date last year, I had someone tell me I have walls up. I'm like, no, I don't have walls up. I have boundaries. It's different. And for those that may not know the difference between a wall and a boundary. A wall, it literally shuts you out. It's something that it's a defense mechanism that you use to shut yourself out and others. It's and we do have our defense mechanisms. We do. Some people use, I can say for me in the past, I've used my busyness. I'm like, I'm so busy. I'm just too busy to date. No, I was not too busy to date. I just I just wasn't ready. And I don't want to be hurt. So of course I don't have that now, but I can say last year that definitely was a big one. Like, oh, I'm busy. Mm-mm. Oh, I have emails to check. Nope. I had all the time in the world. I just didn't want to date him, but I didn't want to tell him that. But we all have defense mechanisms to protect ourselves. We all have them, and it's a natural. It's natural, but sometimes our defense mechanisms becomes the very thing that would hinder healthy relationships. So let's watch out for that. Okay, all right. So that's an example of a wall. allowing your defense mechanisms to hinder you from yourself and from being open. So it's like a brick wall. Nothing get through it. But a boundary can be emotional, a boundary can be physical, okay, or spiritual. It can be all three. But the boundaries I'm going to speak on are the two, the emotional and the physical boundaries. A boundary, and just to break down what a boundary is, a boundary is totally different than a defense mechanism, but it's in the same playing field as that. A boundary is literally you're placing certain doors. It's like it's certain access to certain doors. It's like you're granting someone certain access to you or limited access to you until you feel as if they qualify for their part in your life. You're not giving them the key because you have the key, but you're granting them limited access. For example, just say, and I know people do it. How many people have people that just come to the house and don't call before they just come, right? They don't call you. They don't know if you just walk around the house in your jammies. They don't know if you in the nude. They don't know. They just come and visit you, and you're supposed to just invite them in. But that's what some of us do in relationships. What we do is we tend to let people in without just putting them through their qualification process. You don't have to necessarily test them, but you have to allow them to just, hey, like, okay, so if you say this one more, it's like, for example, one of my biggest things that I found to be a boundary and to be a very it's a red flag for me is when if a guy called female B's and H's. Now, if I'm listening to your dialogue and your language and how you talk about other women, right? I'm sitting up here like, okay, that's that for me. I'm like, so that's what you're going to call me behind my back if I say the wrong thing to you, if I do the wrong thing to you, excuse us, lot, or if I don't go according to how you want me to go according to, if I don't say something how you want me to say it. So for me, yeah, most definitely. So that would actually cause me to put a boundary right there. Cause I already have that boundary. I'm like, don't call me that already. But if I'm talking to you and all you and like, man, she was a blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, why are you calling her blah blah blah? I don't care what she did, but you shouldn't call her that. And so for me, in the past, this has definitely been a boundary for me. That's more of an emotional boundary for me because you're trying to tear her down. I don't care what she did. You don't call a woman a B or H. Just like I'm working on not calling a dude a nigga. I'm sorry, I'm not finna. I don't care how mad I am at you. I'm gonna try not to say that because or call you a punk or a sissy or whatever, or try to call you out of your name because I disagree with what you did. We all humans we make mistakes, but yeah, that's just an example of an emotional. Because for me, you're trying to degrade my character. You're trying to physically and emotionally trying to come at me. No, but we need to have healthy boundaries in relationships, and we need to keep those boundaries. If you don't feel comfortable doing something, or if you don't feel comfortable someone sitting this close to you, or you don't feel comfortable someone touching you right there, or you don't feel comfortable someone just being in your space like that, voice it. If you don't feel comfortable a guy kissing you, tell them that, or vice versa. And I can honestly say you'd be amazed how many things a woman will actually endure just to stay as a man. I've heard women say I do crazy things just to have a man, or just to say, "Hey, I have a man." Oh well, yeah, he's a little aggressive. Yeah, he called me B's and H's sometimes. I don't like it. Yeah, he used strong sexual language that I'm not ready for yet. But at least I have someone by my side. Don't be so desperate for that. So, and it's still talking about boundaries here. So if just say if you are not that type of woman and that offends you or that makes you feel some type of way, speak up for yourself. Don't be afraid to say those different things. And a green flag, it goes with communication. It's speaking up for yourself and saying, "Hey, this is my boundary here. I don't like it when you call me a B. I don't like it when you do this. I don't like it when you do that because that's not who I am. That's not what I relate to." And even for the female relationships, because I've seen this in in the past, trying to be friends with certain females. Hey, B H, I'm like, I'm not a B or H. Well, that's how I talk to my other female friends. I'm like, I'm not the other female friend. So you have to actually get in that. You actually have to be in a headspace where you recognize and realize what you will take and what you won't take. And this is a very big one, especially with females, with other females. Thank goodness I have a healthy female now. I'm just not saying she's unhealthy, but what I'm saying is females or certain people relate to people depending on what they're used to. And that's like I said, I have actually had friends where they would talk to other friends, call them B's and H's and things like that. And I wasn't cool with that. I've never been cool with calling them B or H unless I am acting that way or whatnot. I call myself that, and I don't. So when if another female, because she's done it in the past, say, "Hey B," da, 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 da. I'm like, no, you're not going to call me that. You're going to call me Shay, or we can get a nickname or something. You're not going to do that. She ended up calling me by my name, and she called her other friends B's and H's. And so we all hung out. It's like, so they realized our interaction was different. But by me putting that healthy boundary up, she knew what I will take or I won't take. That's all boundaries are. It's just having limited access. You giving someone certain access to you, and you let them know what you will or will not accept. And the whole purpose of just even speaking on these boundaries, because see, the thing is, when you are developing romantic relationships with people, you realize that people don't have healthy people don't have healthy emotional, spiritual, or physical boundaries with their own relatives or even with themselves or exes. Some people are, well, they just feel it, they just flirtatious. That's just who they are. No, it's just the fact that you have never set up a healthy boundary with that person. And that's one thing I've found, especially with people that I let things slide with in the past. Like if I'm with them and if I'm in their presence today or just now, like the person I am now is not who I was, and let them know that. I'm like, I get in the past we've joked about this or you've made these sexual comments towards me, but I feel very uncomfortable. So can we change the conversation? And so it has allowed me to actually have better relationships with the people that I've grown up with my nephews, my uncles, and even if I decide to be friends with an ex boyfriend, I'm like, we're not going to bring up what we did in the past or the fact that we dated. No, if you're going to be my friend, be my friend. So boundaries are a great thing. So the three things I discussed today that are green flags are communication. The second one was blind spots. And the third one was maintaining healthy boundaries. And those are three things that we can take to our relationships. Because as we take these to our relationships, you're going to realize and recognize that, hey, I may or may not have those in my current relationships. And I'm speaking on this in a business way, in a personal way or interpersonal way. It can be it can be the person at the cash register. So some people are very inappropriate. They say what they want to say. They say all type of sexual things. Some people touch you the way you don't want to be touched. And there you are uncomfortable in the dating stage. Or even just with a family member. I have family members that use strong sexual language, and they don't care whether the children are around. They don't care. That's just way. That's just how they are. Like, no, I'm not going to. No, you're not going to say that to me. And and even with the aunties that's overbearing, I'm like, look, that's my child. That's not yours. So I'm really big on boundaries. And like I said in the past, I've had people to confuse that with walls, but it's only because people have they've dealt with people that allow them to do everything. So if anyone tells you that by you having healthy boundaries, that's a bad thing, it's not a bad thing. It just means that everyone just can't get over on you and do whatever they want to do, and they do that to make you feel less than. I had an ex-boyfriend do that. Say you have a lot of walls. I'm like, no, I don't. It's not walls. It's boundaries. It's just where I am right now, and so either you respect them or don't. So that's how it was. But those are the three things, and I hope that something was said to help. And it's a lot. It's a lot more green flags. Hold on, before I even get off here, it's something else. I was remember I had wrote it down. Okay, remember as I was speaking about boundaries, right? One of a boundary, a physical boundary that I've recently had to really break down with somebody, and I think this may actually help somebody because I'm just about to get off, is touching. Okay. Just say if someone you're talking to is used to rubbing feet or just massaging you and think that, you know, this the real romantic type. And just say you're not into those type of things right away. Ladies, don't be afraid to tell a guy that. Because and if a guy was like, this is how I am, this is how I am. Well, you like, I get this how you are, but I'm not comfortable with that. So either you going to accept that I don't want you rubbing my feet or giving me massages right away, and so that's what I'm comfortable with, or you just going to have to keep on just keep it moving. And I actually just had to go through this. So the guy ended up just respecting my space and accepting the fact that that's where I am. And some people would say, like concerning the physical things, that's just how I am. That's not just how they are. That's what people have allowed them to do in the past. It's a complete difference. It's like me saying, "Oh, I'm this. I'm a person that's always trying to do this." No, that's not who I am. This is what I'm used to. If people are used to people getting over on people in certain areas or doing certain things in certain areas, like for example, like I'm using an example with the guy. If a guy's talking to a woman, if he's used to just rubbing her feet or just doing things like that, if that's something you're comfortable with, that's what you're comfortable with. But if you're not comfortable with that in the beginning stages and you're just meeting someone, or if you're not comfortable with someone coming over to your spot, or you going over to their spot, and you rather go out to a physical place and talk to date or go on a date, if you're not comfortable watching Netflix with them at their house, that's okay. That's not a bad thing just because it's a status quo. So this is something that was the last point, because I think that some people will accept whatever somebody else gives them because that's what they're used to. But ladies and gents, please don't be afraid to fully express if something bothers you, or or if if something, you don't like something, or if you don't like how someone talks to you, or if you don't like how someone do a certain thing, you need to be more verbal. So that's a big part of green flags as well, because that person may actually end up respecting you a lot more, simply because you have set up healthy boundaries for yourself and for others. And as you get to know those people better, they will actually have their deep, deep respect for you. The fact that you can speak up for yourself. So that's also another green flag coming into this year. But anyways, that's all. I hope that these green flags going into any type of relationships, whether it's professional, personal, or interpersonal, even with yourself, because those three things are very important to have: communication, having healthy blind spots in your life, and learning boundaries and knowing the difference between boundaries and walls, and having healthy boundaries in your life that can actually set you up for healthy relationships with yourself and other people. But anyways, I hope that something was said. And remember, you can follow me on, and for those that's just watching this, you can follow me on anchor.fm/LASHEA dash Jackson, or www.shay Shay's Heart to Heart .wordpress. I have a blog as well. And on top of that, my pillow isn't here yet. Oh, by the way, I want to show y'all something. So, yes, my cards finally came. I was going to present it on Facebook, but I did not. Okay, y'all. So I have new products. Okay, I do have hoodies and joggers and pillows. My pillow hasn't made it here yet. It's called the I Am line, and it's from the Bible. Like when God spoke to Moses through the burning bush, saying, "I am that I am." And so pretty much it's a pillow, it's socks, it's joggers. I actually have some Shay's Heart mug or Shay Heart mugs, white and black. And I should have posted my website in the description box. But I ordered some cards, okay? And I'm going to show you. You see this wall right here? That's my original painting, okay? I'm going to show you. This is my original painting, and I used it on my cards, okay? Can you see it? Okay. So, excuse my boobies, but but I actually went on. I went on. Okay, I'm trying to see if I can show you this. It came there. Making. Okay, so I went on there and I custom made my own cards. So I'm going to definitely, so this is just one of my many projects. But as you can see, see, and on the back of them, they have certain things. And so just say, for example, you want to, just have oracle cards or just like everyday saying, you would shuffle them. All right. And so this one was saying, move your body today, and which is something I need to do. So, but yeah, these are my own playing cards. So I do have products. I have shirts. I have, the neck masks. I do have my own products, and I have this is my inner child deck. I am working on my other decks, and so I can go on my own making my own player cards, and they come in different sizes, and so you can, and it's cheap. All you have to do is you can upload the photo, whatever photo you're going to make, and literally write whatever you want to, and you can have as many as you want to. You can have 20, you can have 30 something. This is 54. So most definitely. But these are my own cards that I can play with my friends, and my artwork is on here. So this year is a year of just doing big things, and also this is just for any new subscribers. I just received my new cards as well. So what I'm going to do is block out my number. Okay, so this the front of my card, and that's the back. So I went to Vistaprint to get those done. But most definitely, this is a year of big things, and the whole purpose of coming to you to speak on green flags is because I've seen people, I've seen people just really waste a lot of their energy and time on things that really don't matter. But anyways, doing big things this year, and my daughters actually have a page as well. It's called Shay and Family, SHEA and Family, and like AND. And so we have a new page, but most definitely new things coming, and I'm working on how to get these and sell these online. First, I'm going to see if I like them. I like them so far, but yeah. So trying to show you, see, and this is the cards, but they're smooth, and it's just like a regular playing cards. But I'm definitely going to have fun. And this one said, "You pass your test now that you have a now now you have a testimony." And this one said, "You need to release all doubt and fear." And yeah, but yeah, these cards right here are from my very soul. But I do have new products coming out, and you can check me out on Teespring, I believe, dot/slash Shay Jackson. But I should have a website now, so you can actually purchase any of my products. And yeah, but that's just it. And I will be doing more videos, but I'm hoping that this helps. So share this, subscribe, and you have a peaceful rest of your day. And thank you so very much. And oh, another thing I would say, make sure you take in as much vitamin C, take care of yourself, and social distance if you can. Make sure you get as much rest as you possibly can, and surround yourself with good energy this year. All right, but anyways, that's it. And well, thank you for coming. For anybody that's going to this, please share this. Till next time, Shay's Couch Conversation.